Everyone knows the story of Red Dead Redemption 2. Set in 1899, it follows the decline of the Van der Linde gang, a group of outlaws struggling to survive as the age of law and order overtakes the Wild West. The game centers on Arthur Morgan, the gang's loyal enforcer, as he navigates loyalty, morality, and survival. The story begins after a failed heist in Blackwater, forcing the gang to flee into the mountains. As they move through various regions, including snowy mountains, swamps, and frontier towns, Arthur and the gang engage in robberies, confront rival gangs, and deal with law enforcement. Dutch van der Linde, the charismatic but increasingly unstable leader, attempts to maintain control while pursuing his vision of freedom from society's rules. Arthur starts to question the gang's path, especially after learning he has tuberculosis. This illness forces him to reflect on his life and choices, and he grows closer to helping those in need rather than pursuing crime for personal gain. Meanwhile, internal conflict arises, particularly between Dutch and other gang members, including Micah Bell, whose betrayal drives much of the gang's downfall. The story builds toward the gang's disintegration, with members either dying, leaving, or turning against each other. Arthur's journey is one of redemption. Depending on player choices, he can die bitter and angry or find peace by helping others, such as John Marston, who will become the protagonist of the original Red Dead Redemption. By the end, Dutch and Micah face their respective fates, and the Van der Linde gang is essentially destroyed. The game closes with a bridge to Red Dead Redemption, showing John Marston trying to build a better life for his family, shaped by Arthur's sacrifices and lessons. In essence, Red Dead Redemption 2 is a story about loyalty, morality, and inevitable end in an era, framed through the eyes of a man seeking redemption in a changing world. But what if I told you the story didn't have to end there? Today, let me show you what could have happened if Arthur never died. Let's imagine Arthur escapes the final battle. He rides away into the mountains, weak but alive. Instead of collapsing, he reaches a small town where a local doctor treats his cholera. It's not easy, but Arthur recovers slowly. For the first time in his life, he is completely alone. No Dutch, no gang, no running, just freedom and guilt. Arthur knows he can't return to the old ways. The government wants the gang dead. The Pinkertons are everywhere, and Dutch has lost his mind. So Arthur chooses something he never tried before, a peaceful life. He buys a small piece of land near the Dakota River. He works as a ranch hand, draws in his journal, helps strangers, and avoids trouble. For the first time, Arthur feels what a real life could be. Months later, Arthur hears a rumor. John Marston is alive, but struggling. Arthur travels secretly to meet him. John is shocked. He believed Arthur died on that mountain. Their reunion is emotional. Arthur gives John advice. Live a good life. Don't make the same mistakes I made. He helps John with work, teaches him how to avoid the law, and even supports him in building Beecher's Hope. But there's one loose end. Micah Bell. Arthur knows Micah betrayed the gang. Instead of dying, Arthur lives long enough to help John track Micah down. This time, Arthur fights beside John in the snowy mountains. Micah is shocked to see Arthur alive. After a brutal gunfight, Arthur shoots Micah himself, ending the betrayal that destroyed the gang. With Micah gone and Dutch vanished, Arthur finally finds peace. He becomes a quiet legend, a mysterious cowboy who helped people and disappeared again. Sometimes he visits John's family. Sometimes he draws the world in his journal. Sometimes he just sits by the river, listening to the wind. Arthur Morgan lives a life he deserved, not as an outlaw, but as a man trying to do good. Red Dead Redemption 2 gave us a heartbreaking ending, but imagining a world where Arthur survives shows us something beautiful. A world where he finally forgives himself and lives a simple, honest life. If you want part 2, where Arthur lives into the RDR1 era, tell me in the comments.